Time now for the GameStreamer 2010 mid-year replay. Well, with the engines cooling in the paddocks and the teams beginning to pack up to leave this beautiful city of Toronto, we see the sun sinking in the west, and we couldn't resist staying here for just one more evening. And while we do that, we thought we'd share with you the year to date. Who can resist those brilliant young rookies in touring car, the veterans in GTS and in GT? One thing we can all agree on is that 2010 has been one hell of a year so far.
Hold on to your belts, folks. It's coming fast and furious. St. Petersburg, the opening round on the streets of St. Pete. Crescentini in the pits. It was the Volvos that qualified up front, and Randy Popes was to take off and do what he does better than anybody else in St. Pete, win.
Peter Cunningham led the brand new GTS category to his first win in the new category.
And in the touring car division, the battling was fast and furious. A couple of the players here in Mark Hine and Robert Stout, but it was Todd Burris in the Irish Mike's VW going to the win.
We get to race number 2 on the streets of St. Petersburg. Once again, a similar start, but this time Dino Crescentini's in the mix. As you can see, all of that jumble down into turn number 1, and a huge crash involving Steve Ott and Pat Lindsay.
Meanwhile, in that touring car battle, the two scions of Stout and teammate Gardner battling it up front, and overall at the end, Dino Crescentini getting the win.
Peter Cunningham, who is the second winner of the second round of the GTS category, and Todd Burris makes it a doubleheader.
Next up, for round 3, the streets of Long Beach, the Roar by the Shore, a Viper on the pole, even with a Volvo alongside, but it didn't take long for problems to crop up. Peter Cunningham, visionless with a hood up. Dino Crescentini in the wars, first with Ron Fellows, then with Boris Said.
Boris Said makes contact here, nearly taking out the plucky Crescentini, and Fellows blows up in the Krager Corvette.
Meanwhile, Whitmer getting the win in GT, Tyler McQuarrie, the nimble Lotus, excelling, and Robert Stout winning touring cars in round 3.
Robert Stout definitely going to be one of the stars of this championship. We go to Mosport now and look from the touring car perspective at the standing start of the front straightaway. And it was a pair of Volvos up front. Kuno Whitmer desperately trying to stay in touch.
Meanwhile, Stout struggling in Moss hairpin, runs wide, and Chip Herr making a return to World Challenge takes advantage into the lead.
The number 6 K-Pax car working its way through traffic, and some of that traffic was a new starter in the GTS category, John Heinrichsey.
Meanwhile, Chip Herr trying to fend off and hold the win. He did exactly that. Mosport, the site of round 5, the second round of the weekend. Ron Fellows makes an appearance, and it got interesting. The mayor going for the lead.
Flew all night to get there, challenging Popes for the lead and never relinquished it. Meanwhile, a three-way battle for touring cars heats up, and this time Stout's at the front of it.
And this time, Petey Cunningham and the Lotus of Tyler McQuarrie having an absolute battle royale as he was able to sneak through. Heinrichsey sweeps the weekend in GTS.
Then we go to Watkins Glen International Raceway. A beautiful sunny day and a brilliant start for Randy Post, and Ron Fellows forgot how to drive for a moment there. But didn't last long. Ron Fellows takes advantage of a late braking maneuver by Post and takes the lead.
Meanwhile, James Safronis loops it in the boot, and Eric Meyer, the pole sitter in touring cars, smacks the wall coming out of the boot.
Familiar sight in the GTS category as Peter Cunningham takes the win there, and Robert Stout, what a sensation he's turning into.
And then the most recent round of the streets of Toronto, all Volvo front row, Porsches behind. A great start by both Pilgrim and Pope, but Pope's into the early lead, and James Safronis slices into second.
Thousands of fans hung around the end of the day on Saturday to see this great race. Peter Cunningham has it all his own way in GTS. The touring cars, Greg, that happened.
A big hit. Sandberg into Stout. Stout would continue to third, but it was Nick Whitmer in the real-time Honda from HPD bringing home the touring car win.
You know, I attended every one of those events, but when you see them all distilled down in the GameStreamer replay, I'll tell you, it still gets my blood pressure up. Things are just starting to heat up in all 3 of the championships. Then we've got the Rookies of the Year and 3 more excellent venues: Mid-Ohio, Virginia International Raceway, and then our finale at Miller Motorsports Park. Well, Greg Kramer and I have loved bringing you the first 5 shows, and there's 3 more to come. I want to thank Greg and the entire TV crew. This is Sports Car Wars. This is World Challenge.